You did a good job fighting on that game in a tough position. That type of effort will pay off in the long run. Opening with the king's pawn controls the center and opens up the light-squared bishop and queen, often leading to sharp games. The Perk defense begins with d6, controlling the e5 square and preparing for knight f6. d4 takes full control of the center and opens up the dark square bishop. Sow6 controls the d5 and b5 squares and allows the queen to develop. You strike at the center with a pawn taking away space from your opponent. This ignores an opportunity to develop a knight off its starting square. You captured back. This maintains the balance in material with a good trade. You take back. The knight moves from its initial position, joining the action. Your pawn is no longer hanging and is now defended. That's not a mistake, but it's not the best move either. You develop a bishop, which means you move it from its starting position. This activates a knight by developing it off of its starting square. It's important to get your pieces off their starting squares and into the bishop develops or moves for the first time. It's good to get your knight off of its starting square and into the action. A solid choice. You are threatening to tactically win a pawn. This prevents the opponent from being able to tactically win a pawn. It's critical to develop your pieces as early as possible in the game. There were worse moves, but also something much better. You overlooked an opportunity to attack a pawn chain. This is not the right idea. You missed a better way to develop a rook off its starting square. This connects the rooks, which helps them work together. Not the best move, but not bad either. There were worse moves, but also something much better. You permitted the opponent to force doubling of pawns. A good use of time, thinking and finding the only good move in the position. This forces the opponent to double pawns. You captured back. This ignores an opportunity to sacrifice a knight for a nice tactic. This attacks a bishop, winning a tempo when it moves away. You ignored a better way to move a bishop to safety. This threatens to take an outpost with a knight. You're kicking their knight out of a useful square. This creates a counter threat against the knight, as opposed to retreating. You overlooked an opportunity to centralize a knight so it controls more squares. This threatens to win material through a discovered attack. You overlooked an opportunity to eventually win a knight. This attacks a rook, winning a tempo when it moves away. You overlooked an opportunity to double rooks on a single file. This gives away a free pawn. You permitted the opponent to eventually win material. You missed an opportunity to capture a free pawn. This leads to losing a pawn. This overlooks an opportunity to win material through a tactic. This wins a pawn. Takes back. You are losing material this way. There was only one good move there. There was one good move, and you took your time finding it. This threatens to win a bishop through a discovered attack. Taking some extra thinking time paid off. You found the only good move. This move puts the knight on a safer square. You kicked your opponent's piece from that square, putting the piece on a blockade square. You had a better option, but this is not bad. This threatens to win material through a tactic. Your opponent will have to keep an eye on that passed pawn. This is not the right idea. This is a good time for you to get out of trouble. This overlooks an opportunity to set up a blockade. Good use of your time. That move was critical to find. You offered your opponent an opportunity to exchange pieces of equal value. Putting the piece on a blockade square. You allowed the opponent to eventually win material. Now black can't stop white from winning material if they make the right moves. You ignored a better way to offer an equal trade of pieces. You allowed the opponent to take an outpost with a rook. This ignores an opportunity to block an attack on a vulnerable pawn. You prevented your opponent from being able to win material by pinning a piece. This threatens to tactically win a rook. You are threatening to tactically win a knight. This misses an opportunity to capture a vulnerable rook. You take back. This protects an under-defended rook that is under attack. The game was close to equal, but now your opponent has the advantage. Recaptures. You are losing material this way. This wins material. You captured back. Very precise. Your passed pawn is one. That pawn was free for the taking. Your passed pawn advances to its goal. White lost their winning advantage, and now you had a chance to even the game, but you missed it. This is the only good move. This is a fine move. This move puts the rook on a safer square. Good job defending that pawn. This is a fair move. Your knight is no longer hanging and is now defended. Good job stepping in to defend your pawn. A very strong play. Very good choice. This activates the king in the endgame by getting it off. Good job, that's what I would have played too. White still has an advantage, but they no longer have a winning position. Nice, definitely the right move. Right on target. Yes, this is the way. That's fine. That square is an excellent out. This overlooks a better way to evade the check from the opposing knight. This is the only move that works, and you found it. You kick the opposing rook with a pawn, forcing it away. There is no stopping you from winning a rook with the right follow-up. This wins a pawn. There is no stopping you from winning a rook with the right follow-up. That's not a mistake, but it's not the best move either. You missed an opportunity to set up a blockade. This misses a better way to evade the check from the opposing knight. There was only one good move, and you found it. This steps away from the checking knight. You ignored an opportunity to set up a blockade. A good use of time, thinking and finding the only good move in the position. With the right continuation, you can win a rook by trapping your opponent's piece. Pushing a passed pawn. You missed an opportunity to win a rook by trapping a piece. The passed pawn moves towards its goal. Your knight has a great outpost. Pushing a passed pawn. Well done, an excellent move. This is the strongest option. This move is okay, but not what I would have played. This threatens to force eventual checkmate. You stopped your opponent from being able to force. This evades the check from the knight. This is the way to win material. One of the best moves. You captured that free rook. A solid choice. This is a fine move. This steps away from the checking knight. Very good choice. This wins material. You escape the check from the queen. Very precise. You ignored a better way to evade the check from the opposing queen. You allowed the opponent to attack a trapped knight. This overlooks an opportunity to win a knight by trapping a piece. You missed a better way to evade the check from the opposing queen. You permitted the opponent to pin a knight to the king. This continues the checkmate threat. You dodge the check, moving your king out of harm's way. This is the way to win a knight. That was an even swap of material. Takes back. You step your king away from the checking queen. This continues down the road to checkmate. Good job defending that knight. This loses a queen. That queen was yours for the taking. The passed pawn moves towards its goal. Good job, that's what I would have played too. Right on target. Well done, an excellent move. This is the strongest option. This is a fine move. Pushing a passed pawn. Nice, definitely the right move. This threatens to force eventual checkmate. You permitted the opponent to force eventual checkmate. This forces an eventual checkmate. Very good choice. This is still on the road to checkmate. Yes, this is the way. This continues down the road to checkmate. This continues the checkmate threat. Good job, that's what I... This is still on the road to checkmate. This continues the checkmate threat. This is still on the road to checkmate. This continues the checkmate threat. Nice, definitely the right move. This is still on the road to checkmate. This continues the checkmate threat. Yes, this is the way. This is still on the road to checkmate. This continues the checkmate threat. You escape the check from the queen. This is still on the road to checkmate. This continues the checkmate threat. You dodge the check, moving your king out of harm's way. This is still on the road to checkmate. You step your king away from, and the game is over.